Okay, how it works. So today what we will see is today we will see how to create a first batch job. How to create a first batch job in BODS. That is what we will start with that one today. To create a batch job, okay. So where do we create a batch jobs or any job? Where do we create a job in a BODS? To create a job in BODS, definitely we need to install a designer. That is SAP BODS Data Services Designer. That is a client tool, as I said, or a desktop tool, which you'll have to install in our device, where we do all the development work using a designer. So once you install the designer, what happens is it will come, you know, uh, it will come with as it will come as a bundle. So that bundle will install a designer. Will install a designer. This is a where we do all the development work. Then a repository manager, then server manager, then license manager. All these are the automatically will install the moment when you install this setup file of data services. This repositories and server manager, okay, this repository manager where we do use to create a repositories, either local repository or central repository, and server manager we do all server related tasks. These repository manager and server manager, okay, we don't do anything here because these repositories and server related tasks should be handled where this server, this server is hosted. Here, this server is hosted on the SAP network, SAP at SAP site, so that repository manager and server manager they are taking care of related tasks of these two. So basically, BODS server and BO servers are managed by the SAP. If there are any server related issues, we'll have to log a ticket with SAP. They will take care of it. That's it. So I'm just opening this designer to create a first batch job in BODS. The moment when you launch the designer, this is a login screen of a designer where it will ask you to input a system, username, password, and authentication. Here I'm connecting to the a DAO system with my credentials. And authentication is always enterprise one. As I said, we have not, SSO is not enabled in BODS. So in this development environment, we have 20 repositories created, out of which for our project, I am using repository 20 for our project. And rest of the repositories are, as of now, idle only. No one is using it. If you want, you can, use these repositories. You just just let me know whoever wants to work on, anybody wants to, start working on this BODS. I will assign one repository to you. Already these some of the repositories are already assigned to our team members like Mahesh, Navya, and Durga. These some of the repositories are already assigned to them. If anybody else want to start with this designer, then just let me know. I will map your ID to this respective repository and with required access. So for training purpose, what I'm doing is I'm just logging into this 18 repository. So in 18th repository here, I'm connecting to the 18th repository. Since no one is using that 18 repository, so it is not asking it is not giving any pop-up. Yesterday, when I was, connecting to the repository 20, there was a pop-up just to continue a reset. Someone is already using that to reset or continue that. Now, since no one is using this 18th repository, so that the pop-up is not, come. Just
Venkat, in production also, these many repositories are required.
no, no. In production, we have three repositories created.
Okay.
In
See,
quality, I guess we have six repositories created.
mhm.
The reason
See,
behind creating these 20 repositories in development environment is
mhm,
initially we thought of, uh, initially we thought of assign one repository to in each resource so that they will work on this development
mhm.
stuff in their repositories.
Okay.
But afterwards, everything is taken care either by me or Ashish before me, so
Mhm.
that those repositories are ideal so far.
Okay.
So once I log into this designer, so here you can see which repository, I logged in. So here I have logged into this 18 repository. Okay. Once I log into the 18 repository or any repository, this is, how designer looks like. Here in this designer, as I said, there are two areas. One is a project area and this one is a repository. This repository is nothing but, this is a replica of 18 repository in the data services. Okay. Where if you look at this repository area, I do not have any projects created so far. And the jobs also, I guess, nothing. And workflows also nothing. Data flows, nothing, nothing. So this is basically an empty repository. That is what I have chosen this repositories to start with, training. So, next point is let's see how to create a new batch job. So before creating a new batch job, what we'll have to do is you just come to here data store. As I said, this data store is a kind of a connection where we will create a connection to the respective database, respective source system. Okay, either that source system can be any relational database, or that source system can be ECC, or source system can be S4 application. Okay, so here first we need to establish the connection to respective source system. Here I'm creating a data store to HANA system. I'm creating a data store to the source system, which is nothing but a HANA. Here, just to give the name of the data store name. Usually, we follow these whenever you create a data store. Okay, we follow as per the SAP standard process. We do start with a DS. DS in the sense a data store. By looking at that, name, you can say, I mean, just easily say this is a data store. That is what the for we do prefix start with a DS underscore. I'm just giving B4D because I want to connect to B4D ANA. Okay, ANA development environment. And next here the data store type. Here data store type in the sense here if you look at this data store type, these are the databases which BODS supports. Adapters in the sense whenever you want to connect to the external systems. Okay, that is adapter, then databases, then you can see Google, BigQuery, and all blah blah Oracle applications, PeopleSoft. Okay, then SAP applications, BW Source, BW Target, Civil, web services. These all are the supported databases by BODS. Here I'm going with the relational database, that is selecting the data store as a database. Then the moment when you click on the database types, then it will list out all the relational databases here. Okay. So here out of which I'm connecting to the SAP HANA. So when the just select the database, relational database as SAP HANA, then it will ask you for the version. Your version is just give the default version HANA 2.x. Then input all these details like server name means HANA server name, then port, username and password. So here I'm just inputting all these details. HANA connecting to the DAO server. This is a host. This is a host and port is nothing but a 30641. Okay, then username. Here we have one service account created. Okay, to establish the connection to any data, I mean to this AnaDB, that is nothing but a BODS user. I'm using this service account. Then click on this advanced, then edit. Here also it will show the same thing. If you want, you can give the name of this configuration, name of this data store is B4D. I'm giving like this B4D. Then everything, whatever we have given, in the initial screen, everything will come here. If you want to make it a default, then make it a default. Then rest remains same. Just apply and OK. Then here apply. Okay, then click on OK. Yeah. See, the moment here data store is created successfully, okay, connecting to HANA-DB. The moment when you click on apply, if there is any issue, okay, what happens is the moment when you click on apply, it will try to establish the connection to HANA-DB. If there are any issues, in the sense if there is any issue in server name or port or user credentials or whatever it is, if there is any issue, then it will pop up, my error screen. It will pop up the error. Okay. If there are no errors, then it will not give you anything. Then just click on OK. Then we can say that the data store is created successfully. This is the first step we have to do, okay, before start with a project, creating a batch job. Here, when you expand this, basically it has three components: functions, tables, and templates. These template tables are the BODS temporary tables. Okay. And these tables are nothing but database tables. And functions in the sense, any predefined functions, or if we want to call any store proc, then we can use the functions to call store procs. If you want to import any table, from this HANA-DB, you can simply right click on this uh, data store and import by name. If you know the name of the table, then give that name and one schema owner of that table. Then click on import. The table will get imported. Okay, but right now I do not want to do that. So in the first job, what I want to do in the first batch job is I want to read the data from flat files and load that data into the HANA-DB. That is my first job. For that purpose only, I have created this data store. Any questions on this creation of the data store? No questions, right? Okay,
Sir,
good. Yeah.
should we give while connecting to B4D HANA, should we give only that BOD user, sir, or can we give our LAN ID and our password with the B4D HANA?
No, it's better to
Yeah,
use the service account only.
yeah. Durga, better to use BODS user. Why? Because if it is moved to production, no? all the LAN IDs will not work.
Okay.
That is the one point, Hanu. And second point is, let's say Durga is using one repository and he has created his own data store with some naming. Okay, but the moment when you migrate that job to the higher environments, so unnecessarily multiple data stores will be created in on higher environments.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that just maintain only one data store to HANA to the respective databases, so that there won't be any duplication on the data stores in either quality. The moment when you do the transportation.
Transport. Okay, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, and one more thing is you might be experience some issues while creating these data store or before creating a data store. Definitely, you need to have a proper access to create a data store. If you do not have a proper access to create a data store, then you will not be able to create a data store. That is the first thing. Before entering these credentials, host and username and that blah blah stuff, okay, whatever required, definitely you need to have a proper access to create a data store. Okay, these access part will be handled by us only. So because all the access part can be controlled in a CMC, so that is under our scope only. Okay, now coming back to this project. Now, I, as I said, I wanted to create a first batch job, okay, wherein I want to read the data or extract the data from flat file and transform the data and then load the data into the HANA DB. So for that purpose only, I have created a connection to HANA database. Okay, that is clear, right? And second point is I have already created one, sample data. Yeah, I have already created one sample data here. Name of that flat file is a customer training. Okay. So when I say read the data from flat file, that flat file can be any TXT, flat file can be CSV. Okay, here I have created a CSV, one sample CSV file where it has some kind of data, customer related data. It is saying it is already opened. Okay, let's see. Here in the sample data, I have, how many columns are there? I have 7 columns where customer ID, customer name, SBU, credit rating, grade of customer, rating agents, and location, customer location. So this is the sample data which, I will be uh, loading this data into the HANA DB. This data where I have placed this file is file is placed on the network drive. See, you might be knowing that we have Techem GCP, Techem GCP, wherein we have created a one folder. Folder is nothing but a SAP Rise, SAP Rise, and after that the SAP Rise. Then inside this SAP Rise, I have created. I am the owner of this folder, this root folder. Here, root folder is SAP Rise. I am the owner of this root folder. So that I have created 3 folders. One for DDS is nothing but a development environment. QDS is folder created for quality environment. PDS folder created for production environment. Okay. So I am placing all the flat files. Let's say non-SAP templates. Non-SAP templates are also users are placing the files in this network, the share drive only. This share an NAS drive only, okay, or share drive. So here I have created multiple folders as per the requirement, and out one of that folder is nothing but training. Inside the training, I have placed this sample file. Okay, so this is the network drive which is on a Techem network, which is on Techem network. But this SAP BODS server, it is hosted on the SAP network. BODS servers and BO server, everything, all the servers are hosted on SAP network, but our folder is in, Techem network. This shared drive is on Techem network. What we did is, because both are different networks, there should be some communication should happen between this Techem network and uh, uh, SAP network. For that, what we did is we have mounted this NAS drive on SAP network. We have mounted a NAS drive on SAP network so that that communication has happened and started reading the files from this network drive. Clear, right? This one. You want to even going forward also, for suppose if you place the file, if you place the file in a local device, okay, this SAP job server is not able to read that file from the local device because job server is hosted on the SAP network. Your file is in your local device. There is no communication between job server and this your device. Okay, for that purpose only. Okay. Uh, we have created this network drive to place all the flat files and mounted this network drive on SAP network so that communication has happened and started reading the files. So once after that, let's create a folder. Here I do not have any projects created so far. I'm going to create a first project. Okay. So here there are two ways to create a project. Either you can directly click on this create project from here, this screen, or you can go here from the menu bar also, just click on new and give it name of the folder or project. That is not, I'm simply giving it training. See. The moment when you create a project, okay, this project will be created in both areas, project area and this repository area. Sorry, project area and repository area. Okay. So under this repository area, nothing is there since this is a new project I just now created. Okay. After creating a project, just right click on this, the hierarchy. As I yesterday I told you, there are three basic terms which we frequently use in the designer. They are nothing but a job, workflow, and data flow. Okay, if you talk about the hierarchy of these three basic terms, the first top hierarchy, top level hierarchy is nothing but a top level one is job, then job to workflow, then workflow to data flow. This is the hierarchy. So I'm just creating the right click on this project or folder. Okay, then create a new batch job or new real time job, or just to create a new batch job. Then the moment when you click on the batch job, then it will ask you to give the name of that batch job. So I'm just following the naming standards and naming conventions. Okay, the jobs always start with job. Just you also follow the same naming convention. Job underscore what I can give is first batch job or first batch. Okay, after this, see, the moment when you create a first job on the right side, this is the, what I can say is development panel. Okay, where we do all, where we create our code, something kind of. Here after this, right click on this, or just, sorry, not right click on this, come to this. On the right hand side, you can see there is one menu bar. On the right hand side, you can see a menu bar. That is here it contains, workflows, data flows, then templates, okay, then script, condition, try catch block, then this annotations. So here this on the right hand side, this menu bar, you can see there are some options are disabled. If you look at this template, okay, we cannot create a template inside the job. Whatever are disabled, whatever options are disabled, those cannot be created in the job. Okay, here this is a query transformation. Query transformations cannot directly create it in the job. Okay, what you can create inside the job is you can create a workflow inside the job. You can create a data flow inside the job. You can create this script inside the job, or try conditional or try catch block. These are the while loop. This is a while loop. This is a try and this is a catch block. Clear, right? If you are not sure, okay, just look at this right side. Whatever are, whatever options are disabled, those cannot be created in the job. Whatever are active, those can be created inside the job. As per the process, what we'll do is after job, we will create a workflow. So the naming convention of workflow is it starts with a WF workflow. Okay, just mention a name of that workflow is a first batch job. Clear, right? So first I'm following the standards on SAP standards and naming convention also same thing I'm following. Okay, you guys also do follow the same. Then after workflow, the last level is nothing but a data flow. So as I said, the workflow, it helps us to control the execution of the, control order of the execution. If there is more than one data flow, if there is more than one data flow, or more than one data flow, if there are any dependencies, if there are any dependencies between the jobs, in that case these workflows will help us to define the order of those executions. As per that order only, this whenever job runs, that order will get executed. Then inside the workflow, then I'm creating a data flow. This data flow is a core of, core ETL of a designer, where we actually start do the all the ETL process, where we actually do all the ETL stuff or ETL process. So I'm just creating a this data flow. Here data flow is same, giving the name. Okay, data flow. Then first batch job. Inside the data flow, okay, so inside the workflow, here you can see what can be done here inside the workflow. Inside the workflow, you can create another workflow. Inside the workflow, you can create a data flow. Okay, inside the workflow, these query transformation not possible, templates not possible, and a nested schema script can be created. Then try catch block always can be done in either job or workflow. So inside the data flow, now create a okay actual ETL process. What is ETL process here? The ETL process here is extract the data from flat file and transform the data and then load the data into the HANA DB. Here I'm not going to transform any data here. Okay, I'm simply loading whatever data is there in the flat file. Whatever data is there in the flat file, load the data as is into the target table, which is nothing but a HANA DB. So for source, here source is a flat file, right? First we need to create a flat file here. So go to this tab, formats tab. Here under this flat file, right click on this flat file, then create a flat file. Because my source is a flat file, so that I'm creating a flat file structure. If the source is a DB table, you can directly first after creating a data store, import that table that you will see in the next in the second job. Okay, no need to worry. Now I'm giving the name of that flat file. So here also the naming convention for all the flat file is starts with FF. FF in the sense flat file. Uh, what I can say customer. Some name I'm giving here customer. Let's give customer training. Okay. Give the name of flat file. Then adaptable schema. Let's set it to no only. Okay. I will come to this point later. Then come here data files. So now while creating the flat file structure, come to this data file here location. Where is that flat file located? Where is that flat file located? If the flat file is located in a local device, okay, you can select this local device. Okay, then create a then root directory. I mean, location of that flat file. So location of that flat file is, where is my flat file? My flat file is on network drive. My flat file is on network drive. So what I'm doing here is I'm simply going to that network drive, copying this path. Copy the path from SAP Rise to training, because this server name, TechMGCP, this ID 10.170 and FS data 55 till this 55, okay, it has been mounted on SAP network. So that I'm giving after this from SAP DD rise to till location of that file. And then next, this is the root directory, okay, directory of that file, and the file name. What is the file name? Here, file name is by default it takes txt. Now change it to all files, then select the file. See, basically what happens is this, it will give you, it will paste entire path, but entire path is not required. You can just give only the file name, because that root directory is already given in the here in this, so that just give only file name. The moment when you mention the location of that file, basically that data should appear here on this right side, but it is not appearing here because of, I guess, we need to use this forward slash. Sorry, this is not a local, because since it is on network drive, job server. See, the moment when you select the job server, it is asking to override the current schema. Yes, override it. Here you can see, right? So if you mention the location of that file properly, then the data will appear here. The data of that file, data of the file will appear here. And after that, if you look at this, the first row here is a header row. First row is a header row. Okay, now I want to, if we come down here, you can see there is a skip row header. No, set it to S. Skip the row header, so that the first row, okay, will become header of that file. First row will become the header of a this flat file. Okay, then write a row header. Write a row header is not required. This and this is about input and output. And coming to the delimiters. In the delimiter, use what is the column delimiter, because my flat file, what is the type of the flat file here? The flat file is a CSV. Okay, CSV, in the CSV, column separator is a comma, right? Column separator is a comma, so that I am using column separator as a comma only. Sorry. If it is tab, if suppose your flat file is a text, txt file. Okay, if it is there is separator is, if you give the separator as a tab, then you can mention that column separator. Then a row separator is a new line slash n. Okay, then row within text and text none. I will come back to this text. Okay, later point of time. Now this is nothing but how to create a structure of, a flat file structure. Okay, if we come down error handling, here on the left hand side, last option is the error handling. If you want to handle the errors, okay, a log file. If you want to generate a log file, you can mention that write a error rows to a file. While processing this flat file, okay, if there are any errors, those errors will be captured into this, this error log. So right now I'm setting it to no, sorry, yes, sorry, no. If you want, you can set it to yes and mention that root directory of that log file, and mention the name of that file. Basically, we do give the text file only for the recording the errors. Okay, give that text file. If there is any issue while processing this data, okay, then those all the errors will be captured into that mentioned file. So with this is nothing but a creation of the flat file structure. Any questions here? These field names will come as it is. If you want to change the data type also will come as per the data. So this data type will determine BODS. Designer will determine the data type of this field as per the content of a that file. Okay. So here the content of this customer ID, the data of the customer ID is it seems like integer, so that it is treated as the integer. Then rest everything is a varchar. If you want to increase the size of these columns, you can increase it. I'm just giving column name size is 256 and SBU. These sizes, how these sizes determines is based on the value of the values of the column. Okay, here if the values of the SBU column is 3. Okay, so sorry, the maximum is a 6, so that it has taken 6. Okay, we can increase it here only. Then credit rating 3 only, let it be. Then grade of customer to 14, I'm giving it to 24. Then rating agency 3. Then again location is 6. Okay, with this, create a flat file structure here in designer. Is it clear or any questions here? I will
Venkat
come to
sir.
this adaptable schema and this text. Yeah,
Hello
tell
sir.
me. Yeah.
Sir, earlier you told that local files we can't take, right?
No,
And
because
only
local files you can take local files, but unfortunately a designer na when the file is placed in a local device, okay, it will take the local connection, but there is some communication issue between the designer and job server. There is some communication issue between the designer and job server. Means job server is hosted on the SAP network, and this your device, your local device is on Techem network. There is some issue, communication issue, maybe that firewall or
yes sir.
something. Okay, because of that, in our project, okay, this job server is unable to read the files which are placed on the local device.
Okay, sir. Here actually my doubt is here you have given job server and root directory. In root directory you have given SAP Rise and all, no, sir.
Yes.
To place this, should we make any changes in the BODS or simply by giving this slash SAP Rise, it will
Slash only. This network drive. This is a network drive. Shared drive. Simply I can say shared drive.
no,
Be-
I mean no host name and all, no need to give, right,
Nothing,
sir?
nothing, nothing. Because that is what now, that is what I told you, right? This network drive, this shared drive is already mounted on the SAP network.
Okay,
When they
okay,
mounted this network shared drive on SAP network, they have given till this path, I guess, SAP Rise.
okay,
Till SAP Rise, it will recognize. Till SAP Rise, it will recognize. After SAP Rise, wherever you will place your source file, just give that full path. That's it.
okay, sir. Got it. Thank you.
So right now, to simplify this, okay, always this place the root file, I mean flat file in on the network drive. Okay, then give this root directory as like this, full path of that file, location of the file. Then give the file name. That's it. Okay, clear, right? I'm just
Yes, sir.
save and close this flat file. Yeah. If you come here, you can see one flat file is created under this flat files. Now we have source file ready. Okay. Now just creating this data flow, drag and drop this source file. The moment when you drag and drop the source file to this workspace, I can see simply say workspace. It will ask you to whether make that file as a source or make that file as a target. It will ask you to whether make that file as a source or make that file as a target. I will make this file as a source. When you make this file as a source, okay, you can see there is a flow from this text file. Means data will flow from this text file to further. If you make this as a target file, if you make this as a target file, data will come into this text file. Sorry, this flat file. Just see the direction. Okay, just double click this. Here also you can check all the settings. Okay, after this now, so far what I did is, I have created one job. Under job, I have created a workflow. Under workflow, I have created a data flow. Under data flow, I have taken my source file, that is a flat file, as a source. Then to transform, because I've been talking about the transformations since yesterday, right? Here, to transform this data, to transform the source data in BODS, in the BODS, we have multiple transformations. The basic transformation is a query transformation. See, now query transformation is enabled here. Query transformation is enabled here, which means this query transformation can be used inside the data flow only. If you go back to the workflow and see this query transformation. Okay, so I'm going here. I'm going here and taking this query transformation. So just map the source data to the query transformation and double click on the query transformation. This is a basic transformation we do use in in any job, Here on the left hand side, this is my source system. Source file. On the right hand side, this is a query transformation. Now we need to map whatever fields are required. Whatever fields are required to the target system. Whatever data you want to load to the target system. Okay, just select those fields and map it to the query transformation. Instead of, suppose I want to map all the fields to the query transformation, just uh, select everything, all, and right click on this, map to output. Map to output on this is query transformation. For suppose you want to map only few fields to the query transformation, then select that field, particular field, right click on this, then map to output. Here, my requirement is to, I want to map all the source fields to the query transformation, so that mapped all the fields. Now select here, in this here you can see the mapping. So this is a query transformation, that is a customer ID mapped to which field of the source. That is a customer ID only. Customer name is mapped to customer name. This you can cross check. SBU and like thing. This is one-to-one mapping only, very simple mapping. Okay. Then here going here, select. Next to a tab is in the query transformation. We have this mapping. First tab is a mapping. Second tab is the select. Select in the sense, for suppose if there are, if you want to load the distant rows, you can select it this distant. The moment when you select the distant in the query it will let distant will come into the into the place. Then from here defines the from tables. Since I have only one table, okay, so this table here we have so that there is only one table. If there is more than one table, then it will this from clause will list out all the tables. Okay, then a where clause. For suppose if you want to while transforming the data to target system. For suppose if you want to put some conditions, then you can put that conditions here in the where clause. Maybe let's say I want to load only the US customers into the target table. Then you can just simply drag and drop here. That we will see later. Okay, where class. And a group by. You want to group anything, and order by and advanced. This is not required. And find. This is also not required for now. Okay, basically this query transformation, what it will do is, if you look at these if you look at these all the tabs, select, from, where, group by, order by, okay, basically this designer while transforming the data to target system, it will internally designer will create one query. Internally designer will create one select query. That query only will hit to the database to fetch the data. Okay, so after mapping to the query transformation, now transformation is done. In this transformation, this is simple transformation only, direct mapping only. Okay, source data is loading as is into the target system. That's it. Then take the target table. So for suppose if the target table is already exist in the database, if the target table is already exist in the target system, okay, then you can simply import the target table and drag and drop this table to this workspace as a target. For suppose there is no table created, there is no target table created in the target database. Okay, what you can do is this designer will have a capability. Designer will have a capability to create a table, okay, in the target system. To create a table itself in the target system. For that, I will take a template. Okay, here template file, template tables. So in the template table, give the name of table. Table name is what I can say. This is a dimension table. Okay, dimension. Simply I can say dimension cost. And data store. We have only one data store created. If you have multiple data stores, and select the suitable data store where you want to load this data. And owner of the table. Owner of the table is I can say here SAP AnaDB. Owner of a table is SAP AnaDB. I'm just giving yeah, and click on it. So it will create one temporary table. It will create. As of now, this table is not created in the database. As of now, this table is not created in the database. The database is AnaDB. This table is created in the designer only, means BODS only. Okay. So created a template table, template table and map all the fields. Map all the fields of this query transformation will to this target table. This will come as is. We don't need to do anything here. Just make a join from query transformation to target table. Okay, then all the fields will come like this. Here in the target table, I have options. Okay, here the first one is the target table. Target table is, you can see here what is the name of the table and what is the database. What is the database where it is going to create the target table. And options. If you come to options, here since this is a template table, here you can see drop and recreate a table. So drop and recreate a table means when you run this job first time, this table will create. This table will create a temporary table will create. Okay. Next time when you run the same job next time, whether you want to drop the table and recreate it, or only if you uncheck this, okay, it will simply load the data into the template table. That's it. It will not drop. Or it will kind of a not a truncate and load. Okay, then these all below are the options. I will come to these options later. Just this drop and only check this one in the options, and bulk load options also just for time being uncheck this, not required. Then load triggers, these are not required, will take care of this designer automatically. Okay, just only uncheck this, and options is drop and recreate a table, then target. That's it. So now first job, simple job is created. Simple job is created. In the job, I'm simply loading data from source to target as is. And validate this data flow. If you validate this data flow, to validate the data flow, just click on this. Okay, there are no errors. If there are any errors, then it will list out all the errors. Okay, just click on that particular error, then fix that error, if any. Then after this, save this job. Save this job. It is taking time.
Venkat,
Yeah.
here we created only temporary table. No, we didn't create direct HANA target table.
No. Yes. This table, see this template table is, you can say temporary table only. Template table is nothing but a temporary table, and that temporary table is so far created in the designer only, not in the target database.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, see, here you can
If,
see
mm,
template table is created on the template tables.
yes.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
See, entire thing, this flow is not finished. No? Whenever we load into HANA table, then only job is finished. No?
No, job creation is done now. Job
Okay.
creation is done.
Mm.
Job creation is done, but this table is still in the designer only.
Okay.
This table is still in the designer only. So that is what now the moment when you run this, the
Mm.
moment when you run this job, then this target table will be created in the HANA DB after running
Okay.
the job. After running the
After,
job.
okay. Present, we don't know the target table. That's why we created template table. Okay.
Yes.
If you know exact table, okay, we need to load into this table.
In that case,
Uh,
what we have to do is right click on
mm,
this table, then
mm.
import by name. If you know
Okay.
the table, just schema is HANA DB only for all our
Mm.
tables. If you know the
Mm.
table, give me the table, give the table name and import it.
Okay.
In HANA, which table is there? Dim underscore. Okay, that we'll see later. As of now,
Yeah.
just
Uh-huh.
play with these template tables only.
Okay. Okay.
If
Yeah.
table is already there, import it. Okay, just
Mm.
drag and drop here to the workspace and make it as a target table and load the data into target table. That's it.
Okay. See, here we
Okay.
don't know table in HANA. That's why you create a template table. And
Yes.
when we
Either
run
two
this,
cases, Anu, there. There are two cases. Either we don't know the table name.
mm,
Okay, or the table is not at there, not at exist, table does not
mm,
exist in the HANA so far. This is the first
okay.
time we are loading the data into HANA DB.
Yeah. Yeah.
First time we are loading the data into HANA table, HANA DB. So when
Okay.
you are loading the data into HANA DB first time, anyhow the table will not exist, right?
Mm,
Okay, if you are loading the data second time, then definitely table should be there.
yes.
Okay, then once job is created, okay, if you come here, data flow, here you see, execute is disabled. Means we cannot execute the data flows. And workflow, come here, workflow. Workflow here, we cannot execute the workflows also. And go to this job now, this should be enabled now. See, that is what, I told you, job is nothing but a smallest unit, which can execute independently. Okay, so here I can execute this job, but unfortunately, just save this. What happens is the moment when you execute the job from designer, okay, it will take the local connection. It will take the local connection basically where the moment when you run the job, where this job will run in an architecture of a BODS, there are around 7 components. Which component will run the jobs? Which component will run the job?
Bad job.
Huh?
Data.
No, bad job is a
Data
type
flow.
of bad.
Data flow.
No, no. Yes, see, this is an architecture of a BODS, right? Which will run the jobs. Here in this architecture, in the architecture of a BODS, which component will take care of jobs?
Management console.
No, job server. Job server only will run the jobs. The job server will run the bad jobs. Access server will run real-time jobs. Okay, now here that is what, see, it is asking. The moment when you click on the execute, okay, enable audit, enable recovery, these all are the basic things. And job server, it will ask what is the job server. Okay. Now the moment when you click on the job server, see, job server you select is not working, which means The moment when you run the job from the designer, this designer is trying to connect to the job server. But job server is hosted on the SAP network. Designer is installed in my device. My device is where is my device? My device is in Techem network. There is some communication issue between Techem and SAP. Due to that, we cannot run the jobs from this designer. I have tried a lot to fix this issue, but the firewall something is blocking in the Techem firewall. While designer is trying to reach out to the job server which is there on the SAP network, our Techem firewall is blocking this this control. That is what we cannot run the jobs from the designer. So go to the data management console. You don't need to worry about that this part. You can simply go to this designer, run it from there. That's it. Don't waste your time unnecessarily why it is not running from the designer. I have already invested a lot of time on this. Finally, I just left it. I'm just logging into this management console. Here, admin status. So where we have created the job, repository 18. Go to repository 18. Okay, go to batch job configuration. See. Okay. Now execute this. Just go here and execute it. Here print selected trace message only. So while executing the job, I want to trace only data flow session workflow only. If you want to trace everything, then select this one. Or if you want to select any more traces, okay, sorry, if you want to trace anything else, then you can select the checkboxes. Right now, okay, I'm selecting only tracing with the data flow session and workflow only. Click on this execute. Click here, completed successfully. See, we can run the jobs from this management console. Why? Because management console is on the SAP network only. This is a anyways web-based application. Both job server and this both are on the SAP network only. So that they can communicate with each other in the same network. But from the designer, networks are different, so that now cannot execute the jobs. Now go here and check how many records are loaded into the target table. 8 records are loaded into the target table, and go and check. Go and check here how many records are there in the source file. In the source file, how many records we have? 8 only. So all of them got loaded into the target table, and go to log file. If there is any issue, then it will generate a log file. If there is any issue while transforming the data from source system to target system, then it will generate those logs here. As of now, this job completed successfully without any issues. Then go back to this services designer and go here and go here. You can see here. See, this is a target system and this is a source system. Here also you can compare side by side. Okay, this is a source system, source table. This is a target table. So in the target table, this data is, all the source data, is loaded into the target table without any issues. So here still this is a temporary table only. But if you go back, if you go to the AnaDB, okay, this table is created now. After running the job, that table should be created in the AnaDB. Okay, now go here. रिफ्रेश किधर है okay, now come here. Team underscore, I'm just giving cause. See, table is created now. Until unless you run the job, okay, this table won't created in the HANA DB. After running the job only this table is created. Now, but this table is not showing here under these tables because this is still temporary table only. Coming to the clear, right? Any questions here? Any questions? Okay, silence in the sense no questions. Very good.
No, sir.
When, because this is simple job only. Okay, we might be knowing this. For suppose I can import, just right click on this, and import it. Import table. The moment when you click on this import table, then this temporary table will get imported into this DB table. Means as of now, this table is still a temporary table only. The moment when you click on this import table, then it will become a database table. It will become a database table. The moment when it becomes a DB table, okay, become a DB table, what happens is, let's say I want to add one column, one additional column in this source file. Let's assume I want to add one column in this source file, in the source file. You can add it and fill the data and run this job. Okay, then update the flat file structure, run the job, then it will, that data, that additional field also will load into the target table. Will load into this temporary. You don't need to create that additional field in the database. That is what I'm trying to say here. The moment when you right click on this, when you import this table, now this table will get into under tables. See, now this temporary table gone from here and it went to tables. Now what happens is, let's say I want to add one additional column here in the source file. You can update this structure, this flat file structure, but definitely you need to go to DB, then add that column in the DB table. Add that column in the DB table. Otherwise, it will throw the error. It will throw the error means if you map that additional field to this query transformation, if you map that field to the query transformation, then the moment when you load the data, it will throw the error like this field does not exist in the target table. Are you clear what I'm trying to say here between the DB table and this temporary table?
Yes, sir.
So temporary until unless see the if it is a temporary table, you can make the necessary changes in the source system and run the job, load the data into the target table. You can add n number of additional columns. You don't need to go to DB table and you don't need to add those additional columns in the DB table if it is a temporary table. The moment when it becomes a DB table here, when you import that to the DB here, DB table, then if there is any additional column, column added in the source system, that column must be added in the target system as well, target table as well. That additional column must be added in the target column as well. Sorry, target table as well. Then only you will be able to transform that additional column data into the target table. That's it. Okay, clear, right? Now click on this. If you go to option, then these options are limited here. Delete data from before loading the data. When you are loading the data, into the target table, what how you want to load the data, what mechanism you want to follow. So you might be knowing that we have SDD types, slowly changing dimensions, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Okay, in our project we are using type 1 and type 2. I mean, type 1 is nothing but a truncate and load. Type 2 is nothing but a maintain the historical data. Okay. Here, if you check this one, what happens is before loading the data into target table, it happens, truncate and load happens. Truncate and load happens. For suppose if you uncheck this, then new data will get appended to the existing data. New data will get appended to the existing one. That is, let's say here I'm adding one more row. But I'm not changing anything here. I have just added one more row. Just copy this previous and which is nothing but this is a duplicated one. This is a duplicated one. Then save it. Where it is saved? Let me check it. Yeah. Okay, I'm just copying this previous row just to demonstrate you one option. Now save it. Yeah. Now row number 9 and row number 10 are duplicated here, right? Row number 9 and row number 10 are duplicated. Yes, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Yes, right.
Yes.
Again here, what I'm doing here is, if I uncheck this option, this newly added row will append to the existing records. Okay. Even if you check this, then the duplicated row will get loaded into the, will get loaded into the target table. So I'm just showing that. Save this. See, so that newly inserted record is showing here, right, in the source table. So if you go here, target table, so it is not there in the target table. But in the target table, I make this option. As or suppose just uncheck it. Now what happens? Any guess? Any guess?
Table will delete all the data.
No, because I uncheck this one.
Okay.
Delete data from table before loading. I just unchecked it.
Double. Data will be doubled.
Yeah, data will get doubled. Okay. After saving it, go here, run this job again. Is completed. How many are loaded? Just check it. 9. Okay, now how many records should be there in the target table? Any guess? How many records should be there in the target table? 17. Because in the first load, okay, 8 records got loaded into target table. In the second load, how many? 9. So 9 plus 8 total 17. This is the duplicated data. This is a duplicated data because here you have unchecked this one. You have unchecked this so that it is getting duplicated. Okay. So now what I'm doing now is I'm just enable this option. This is the one scenario I just wanted to show you. And another scenario is Okay, now go to run this job. Yeah. Okay, now let's see how many records are there. 9 only. Now go to target table and check it here. 9.
Sir,
Okay.
Venkat sir, I have one small doubt.
Hmm.
Sir, this template table which is created, only after loading the data we can import it, or just creating the table and we can import it to the.
Import only. You don't need to import. It's already imported, right? Just click
Not
on
now,
this
sir. Okay.
review, preview.
Okay. Not now, sir. Like while creating this template table, we dragged the template table and created the name, right?
Hmm.
So my doubt is only after creating this template table, should we load the data and then we need to import, or okay,
Oh, see, if
or
the first time you are loading the data, okay,
yes,
take a temporary table and load the data, then import.
okay,
Before running the job, you cannot import it, first of all.
okay, got it, sir.
Okay, now we have only 9 records loaded. Okay, what I'm doing here is in the next step, I have added one more, inserted one more row, which is same as row number 8 and 11. Now row number 8 and 11 are duplicated. Okay. Row number 8 and 11 are duplicated. If I go and run this job again, these records will get appended to the again, these how many rows? These 275 rows. Sorry, not 10 rows, 10 records will get inserted into the target table. But I don't want to load the duplicates. I don't want to load duplicate records. Then what to do? I don't want to load the duplicate records. For that only, we have an option here, autocorrect
Extend.
load. No, autocorrect load. If you make autocorrect load, if you set this to S, okay, it will prevent loading the duplicate records into the target table. If you set this autocorrect load to yes, what it will do is it will prevent loading the duplicates to target table. That's it. Run, save this, then run the job and see the output. And now go here. See how many are loaded in target table.
9.
See 9 only. You can see 9, right? In the source, duplicated ones are is it not saved or what? 852. 852. Just a minute. Guess it is not saved. Now go here, close everything. See 852 is there in the source. Okay, now run this job. It will not load that duplicated record. That is the option of autocorrect load. completed. Come here and check here. See, 852. In the source, this 852 we have it in 2 times. Okay, whereas in target there is only one record for this 852 ID. So whether how to know whether it has this record is loaded or this record is loaded or this record is loaded, how to get to know this? It will load randomly. If there are duplicated records, okay, we never know which one it will load, but it will take randomly out of it. It will take one random, and that will load into the target table. That is the use of this autocorrect load. This option I want to demonstrate to you. That is what taken this autocorrect load. So basically autocorrect load, if you set it to yes, okay, it will avoid loading the duplicates into the target table. That's it. Okay, I'm just removing this and removing this as well. Clear, right? Any questions here before moving on to the next one?
Sir, one last question.
Hmm.
Can you click on target table, sir? No, double click on that table, sir.
Hmm.
Okay. Here options. So there is our query, sir, and there is one distinct option, sir. What is the use of that, sir? Like
Query
in query
transformation.
in query transformation, I think under from it will be there.
Same. It will
Yeah,
also
sir.
load the distant rows only.
Okay. So we can
Wait.
do it by auto load also. Sir. Okay.
Yes,
Got
yes.
it, sir.
Okay, and next point here is, see here, this is a CSV format, right? This is a CSV format. What I'm doing here is in the last record, I'm just giving one comma after motor. I'm just giving a comma after motor and saving it. But this the problem with this autocorrect load is it will degrade the performance. It will degrade the performance. That is what, whenever it is required, then only use that autocorrect load. Set it to yes. So now what I did here is, what I did in the source file is, in the last record, in the customer name, I put a comma after motor. Okay. Now check this whether it is updated or not. Okay, I put a comma here. Then I save this and I run this job. What happens now? What happens now? Any guess? Will this job run successfully or will it throw any error?
If you select delete before loading, it will not throw. If you select delete, didn't select it will throw.
No, irrespective of that. See, a column delimiter was seen after column number 7. After column number 7, row number 8. What does it mean? What does it mean? Row number 8 is this. We know it. There is a column delimiter seen, which means, see, basically, what is the delimiter to separate the columns in CSV? What is the delimiter to
Comma.
separate the columns in CSV? Comma. What happens the moment when it detect the comma, the moment when it detect the comma, it will split this name into two words. Okay, this whatever will come after comma, it will this whatever will come after comma, that will be shifted to the next column. That will be shifted to the next column. But here, how many columns we have? Only seven
Seven.
columns here, right? We have only seven columns. The moment when it company is shifted to the next column, this ACV here, this SB will come into the next, will shift to the next column, and everything will shift to the next column. Then this data, it will exceed the defined columns. Data will exceed the defined columns, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear or not?
Yes,
So
sir.
that there are only 7 records loaded. If you go here, there are only 7 records. How many are loaded? Nothing, I guess. Job is where I put this 98981. So that record is not getting inserted because of there is some issue in that row. So that that record is not getting inserted in the target table. Nine eight one is there or not? Just check it here. It is there, but not updated one. It is there. This is the previous one. This is the previous one. So that what I will do is autocorrect load, set it to no. And save this. Okay, definitely that record will not, insert it into the target table. How to handle these kind of scenarios? If there is a comma, okay, in the value of in the value, if there is a comma in between the value of any column, then how to handle these such scenarios? In the sense, here go to plot file and open this structure, plot file structure. Here text, here if you look at these delimiters, column delimiter is a comma, okay, row delimiter is a new line, and see here you can see this, here also you can see after comma, because this comma is a delimiter, okay, to separate the columns. After comma it is shifted to next column, and everything is shifted to next column. There would be one additional column, which is but we have defined this plot file with only how many columns? 7 columns only. So for this, what I will do is in the text, I will simply give single quote, sorry, double quotes. What happens is, if there is a comma delimiter in between the value of any column, in between the value of any column, it will treat it as a one word only. It will treat it as a one word. See, did you observe this change? Did you observe this change?
Yes, sir.
Comma. See, now company is coming under a customer name. For suppose if I put it none, what happens is company will be shifted to the next column because comma is a separator here. That is the use of this text. Okay, now text I am making it a colon, then S, then save and close. Save and close. Save the job and run the job. Job will run without any issues now. Come here and check here. Yeah, done. Now go to management console, run the job. Okay, now come here, execute. Completed. Let's see how many records are loaded. 8. Any logs? No issues. Now go here and come here. Check. This is a source. You can check. Source data is as is loaded into the target system. Clear, right? That is the use of that option. Extra delimiter option.
Yes, sir.
Then next scenario is any questions here? Team, any questions?
Yeah, Venkat, one thing, right?
Hmm.
When you are
Hmm.
loaded this flat file, right?
Hmm.
So in the customer names, we can't see the double columns, right? But when we are seeing, can you go back to the designer and that
Hmm.
in the data? So in data, we can see the double columns are there, right? So will these double columns will move to
No.
the target, or
No.
it will be just for here only?
Yes, here only. It won't. Just
Okay.
check it here. Just a minute. Let me check it here. Which one is our son? This only, right? See,
Okay.
those are the text delimiter.
Okay. Okay. And customer IDs are coming with the commas, huh?
Just what is this? Integer only, na? Customer ID is integer only here.
It should be num-c, right?
No, here we have only integer.
Integers, long time, varchar. I think varchar then will work, right?
No. Varchar means will come as is. Yes. You just change the data type as varchar so that commas will come. Commas will not come. Separator will not come in the numbers.
Yeah.
Since I make this data type as an integer so that commas are coming, separators are coming. Okay, this is the how to handle this. If there is a comma in between the text of any column, how to handle it? That you need to. That is a use of that option text delimiter. And next scenario is, let's say for 983, I'm removing this and also removing this and also removing this, keeping only this and save it. Maybe users are forgot to fill this customer name, SBU or credit rating. So I can say this is an unstructured format. So this is a unstructured format. Since you have access to this plot file, you can go here and identify it. But the moment when you do not have access to the source file and you don't know whether the data in the plot file is structured or unstructured. Okay, but as here for now, this is an unstructured format. The moment when I run the job, what happens? Any guess? Will this data load as is into the target table or will it throw any error?
Error.
Possibly it can throw the error now because it's a block.
Before that, just check it here. Just check it here. Go to check here. Okay, null. Okay. Now come here. Double click this. Here also null. Save and close. I'm not making any changes. I just modified the source data. That's it. Now go and run the job. What is your guess here? Will it throw any error or
Null values will not load before. Remaining will load, I think.
what is this? This is CSV, right? If it is a text one, then it will throw the error. So in this CSV, na, if it is a CSV, okay, there won't be any impact. Okay, if there is no data, then if there is no data in the particular column, okay, it will treat it as a null. That the null only will load into the target table as well. Just check it in null. Okay, but let's say I'm keeping this as it is. Control not Europe. Let me make it Europe. And okay, I have a flat file. I have a flat file with 7 columns. I have a flat file with 7 columns. Now I am just testing purpose. What I am doing is I'm just deleting this column. Which column? Rating column. I'm just deleting rating column and save it. Okay, saved it. And go here and come here, come to this plot file. So here I have deleted rating agency. No, which one I have deleted? Yes, rating agency have deleted. Okay, but here we have on the flat file structure we have it. Then cancel it. I'm just running the job. What happens now? Because we have created a flat file structure with 7 columns. The moment when I receive this flat file from one user, maybe user giving the flat file with 6 columns only. But we have created a flat file structure in BODS with 7 columns. But we are getting the data, we are getting the flat file from the users with 6 columns only. What will happen in that case?
It should fail.
See, a row delimiter was seen for row number 1 while processing the column number 6. So initially I have a flat file with 7 columns. Based on that, I have created a flat file structure in the BODS. Okay. And loading the data into the target table. But in the next time I receive this flat file, with 6 columns only. Means less than 7 columns, but a structure is created with 7 columns. In that case, what happens is this job will throw the error because of this flat file structure and the data. I mean the data which will be coming from the external flat file is not in sync. So in that case, what we can do is we don't need to go and go to the user and modify that source file structure, flat file structure. There is a adaptable schema, set it to S. There is a adaptable schema, set it to S. Okay, and save this. Set it to S and save this. If we receive the flat file with less than the these 7 columns, then it will run without any issues. For the if the flat file has more than 7 columns, which is exceeds the flat file structure which is created in the BODS, that case it will definitely throw the error. Now save this, go to here and run this job. Okay, clear? See, there
Yes,
is
sir.
now there is no error. Go and check the target table. Is it delete and load or what? Yes, it should be delete and load. Yeah. So records will load as is. Why this location? Why this location data is not loading? See, that is the use of this adaptable schema. When you receive the flat file with less than the structure defined in a BODS, I mean the number of columns, okay, then job will run without any issues. If you set it to no, then job will fail. And the option of this text one is if there is any column delimiter appears I mean in between the text in between the value of any column, okay, if you make it, if you give this double quotes, then it will take care of those commas. Why this location is not loading? Just a minute. Where is that? Now save it. Go here and check. Because that location, that is because we have removed a rating agency column, right? That is what
Yes.
location data not populated in the last column. The number of columns are less than the structure defined in BODS. Now go here and run this job last time. Come here and check. Yes, now it is corrected. So this is the how to read the data, how to extract the data from flat file and load the data into the target system. Here target system is the HANA-DB. Any questions here? So this flat file can be text TXT as well, or this flat file can be Excel. Okay, so you can maybe you can a POC with either TXT file or Excel file. For Excel also same thing. For any flat file, first we need to come here and create a structure. For Excel work also come here and create a structure. But options might be different between flat files and Excel. Just to create directory and process is same. Okay, then worksheet that sheet name and everything. So give this fill all these details. Then create a Excel structure in the BODS. Then read the data from Excel or this flat files, any flat file. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
And the options of this options, this one is the truncate and load. If you check this, this would be the truncate and load. Here auto correction load. Auto correct load is just to prevent, to avoid the loading duplicates into the target system. That's it. That is the use of this option. When you make it to autocorrect loading, make it to S, then we need to define this use input keys and updated key column is primary keys. Based on the primary key only, it will identify which is the duplicated one and how removing those duplicated records. Since this customer ID is a primary key here, okay, so that it will take automatically that customer ID as a primary key. And your options rows per commit. Rows per commit is once a job gets executed in one cycle, how many rows should get loaded into the target table? How many rows should be loaded into the target table in one cycle? That is nothing but a rows per commit. Okay, bulk loader option is suppose if the data size is more, if the data size of the source, if the data size of the source is more, maybe 2 million records or 2 billion records, then what happens is it will give the definite, it will cost the performance, it will give the performance issue. In that case, we'll have to enable this bulk load option. Bulk loader option should be enable should be enable when you are loading the huge volume of data into the target system. What happens is the moment when you enable the bulk loader option, what happens is every time whenever you run the job, what happens is it will extract the data from, it will connect to the source system, extract the data, okay, extract the data and load the data into the target table. So every time it will hit the source system and it will hit the target system also to load the data into target table. Okay. So the moment when you enable this bulk loader option, what happens is it will not hit the target table. Sorry, it will not hit a target database every time. It will not hit target database every time. It will create in the designer, it will create one bulk loader file. It will create one file, bulk loader file. So it will read this data from source system and load the data into this intermediate file only. I can say it is simply intermediate file, which is nothing but a bulk load file. Load the data, instead of loading the data into the target table, it will load the data into intermediate file, which is nothing but a bulk load file. Okay. Once, so the moment when you enable it, then you need to select whether you want to do append or truncate. Okay, then commit size. Commit size is default is I guess 1000. Then update method. Update method is whether this is delete and insert or update as per your requirement. You just select these options. In this case, what happens is after loading, suppose if the commit size is 1000, if the commit size is 1000, come here. Sorry. Yeah, if the commit size is 1000, what happens is it will read once 1000 records are loaded into that intermediate file, then only it will hit the target database and load these 1000 records into target table. Then again, read the next in the next cycle. Okay, read a second set of records. So that by doing that, it will reduce, it will save the time. It doesn't not, it is not required hit the database every time. For every record, it is not required to hit the target database every time. So that in such a way that it will save the time and bulk loader option will save the time and it will not, sorry, it will not give any it will avoid the performance issues basically. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
And sub, I want to see what query it is generated. This data flow is generated. What kind of query this data flow is generated? For that, just select the data flow and go to tools, not tools, no, display optimized SQL. Okay, since this is a flat file, source system is a flat file. Okay, so that it will not generate any SQL query. If the source system is a DB table, then definitely it will generate a query. It will generate a source SQL query. This is all about how to create a first job and how to read the data from flat files. If any question, then please.
Sir, if there is any date field in the Excel file, should we make any changes here?
If there is any date field in this flat file, as per the format of the date in CSV, it determines the data type of that field. Okay, if you want to, while loading that date into the target system, if you want to load that data into the particular format, here you can do the typecasting. Means use the functions, and use functions to do the typecasting and load the date field into the target table with the required format.
Okay, in query transform, right, sir? Okay.
Yes, in the query transform. Here only we do all the transformations as per the business. Let's see here customer name. Okay, in the customer name, maybe I want to merge. I merge this customer ID and customer name and load the data into target table. Here we can create a new output column and do the concatenation. And load the data into the target table. This is nothing but one kind of transformation. Okay, that's it today. If any questions, then you can just ask your questions. Otherwise, we can wind up this call.
We can change names also now, sir. In the
Yeah,
target
yeah,
table.
yeah.
Okay.
See here, and one more thing is in the query transformation, you can rename the rename the columns. Just click on this. You can rename the columns. But once you rename these columns, okay, definitely these column names must match with the DB table columns. If you change the name of the column here, that definitely should change in the DB table as well. Otherwise, it will throw the error.
Okay.
Because here column comparison, compare by name. How we are comparing the columns? How this data is loading into the target table by columns comparison only.
Okay.
Compare by position also there, but we use this compare by name. When you use this compare by name, then definitely the column name should remain same between query transformation and this target table.
Okay, sir.
Okay, in the tomorrow session, we'll see how to read the data from a DB table, database table, and how to load the data into, maybe target tables, same table or different table, whatever it is.
Okay, sir.
Okay, clear, right?
Yes, sir.
We'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.